Disgraced FBI Director James Comey has broken his silence after being indicted once again by the DOJ and FBI for being a dirty, rotten criminal. And he has an impassioned plea here. I think you're not going to be able to believe it. Listen to this video that James Comey just dropped.
About a truly inspirational public figure named Taylor Swift. Of course, I watched her podcast interview with the Kelsey brothers. Of course, I watched the whole thing, although on YouTube, Patrice and I got kicked off for the last 15 minutes and finished it on her phone. But I watched it. You see, Taylor Swift and I go way back. I went to my first concert of hers 15 years ago. I've been to a second, and I have helped financially support the attendance of a lot of family members at others. I'm in a family's Swiftie group chat.
Okay, actually, sorry, that's wrong James Comey clip. He did respond to the new indictments. James Comey was just indicted. This video is, however, real, and I can't believe that it is. This video is not AI. James Comey is a Swiftie. He is actually that low T. And it explains so very much of his passive-aggressive, catty, vindictive behavior against President Trump, and James Comey throwing his own wife under the bus. Oh, yeah, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so the news break here is defiant James Comey on second criminal indictment says, let's go. James Comey left a smug, smirking, sneering, although he is going gray here. He's not looking as spry as he used to. After his new indictment threatening the life of the President of the United States will never be tolerated by the Department of Justice, says Todd Blanche. The indictment handed up on the Eastern District of North Carolina lists one count of knowingly and willfully making a threat to the life and to inflict bodily harm on the President of the United States. Okay. James Comey not happy about this. The DOJ held a full press conference about it. Let's go ahead to James Comey's actual response video. Sorry, I just can't help myself with this Taylor Swift.
About a picture of seashells on a North Carolina beach a year ago. And this won't be the end of it. But nothing has changed with me. I'm still innocent. I'm still not afraid. And I still believe in the independent federal judiciary. So let's go. But it's really important that all of us remember this is not who we are as a country. This is not how the Department of Justice is supposed to be. And the good news is we get closer every day to restoring those values. Keep the faith.
Okay, so a couple of problems here with all of this. Number one, James Comey knew exactly what he was doing with his post because he wouldn't have deleted it and ran scared to Stephen Colbert if he didn't know exactly what he was doing. James Comey blamed his wife then because he realized that he had engaged in a criminal act.
Instagram. You grammed this. You were walking down the beach. What happened? You were walking down the beach and you saw this on the beach?
Yeah, my wife and I, Patrice, were walking on the beach and saw those numbers in shells on the beach. And
you didn't do this. Somebody else did this.
Yeah, somebody else did it. We were on a walk preparing for this week, the rollout of my book.
Yep.
She looked at it and said, why'd someone put their address in the sand?
All right.
And then we stood at it, trying to figure out what it was. And she'd long been a server in restaurants. And she said, you know what I think it is?
Yeah.
I think it's a reference to restaurants when you would 86 something in a restaurant.
Right, it's off the menu.
Yeah. I said, no, I remember when I was a kid, you'd say 86 to get out of a place. This place stinks, let's 86 it.
Right. I was a bartender. You would 86 a customer if they were getting drunk. Like, let's 86 them. Let's, like, give them a low-proof alcohol, something like that. Yeah.
And so I said, I think it's a clever political message. And she said, you should take a picture of it. I said, sure. And then she said, you should Instagram that. And boom.
Blaming your what? Nothing. No. It's my wife. Arrest my wife. Comey responds to new indictment. I'm still innocent, so let's go. I love it, the let's go thing. He uploaded this to his Substack. And the whole let's go thing. The process is the punishment. That's the issue here, right? The process is the punishment. That's what James Comey did to Donald Trump. They charged Donald Trump with 50,000 different things. They wanted to put the guy in jail for 400 years. And they drained him dry of all of his resources. And he kept charging him And this was the point. They were never really planning on putting him in jail, but they were giddy about the prospect of it, which, by the way, this is a North Carolina grand jury. North Carolina. Wow, I think that's going to be a slightly different result potentially than a DC grand jury. It was James Comey who was fetishizing having President Trump in prison.
Suggested that there are a range of factors that would make it difficult to put a former, the system has not been tested in this way. Do you agree with that it would be difficult or nearly impossible for the law enforcement institutions to put him in actual jail?
No, they would just put him in a double wide somewhere out near the fence, out in the grass. And he would eat there, he'd shower there, he'd exercise there, he'd be away, as Danya Perry said, from general population, but it's obviously doable.
Oh yeah, it's obviously doable to find a extra tall jumpsuit for you as well, James Comey. It's obviously doable. 2 felonies. Comey made clear he has zero remorse for dog whistling to his followers to kill President Trump. He displays himself as the victim. Good luck, dude. Good luck. Look at the state of Comey. He thought he got away with it, but he didn't. It's amazing. You know, sorry, pal. It's an indictment that you tried to run on President Trump. You ran it on General Flynn. You bragged about how you manipulated and used the broken systems at the White House to your advantage, and how you attacked General Flynn when they didn't have the proper White House counsel. You set up a perjury trap for him. And that's exactly what you do. You bragged about it.
Demonstrations, there was process. And so if the FBI wanted to send agents into the White House itself to interview a senior official, you would work through the White House counsel, and there'd be discussions and approvals and who would be there. And I thought, it's early enough, let's just send a couple guys over. And so we placed a call to Flynn, said, hey, we're sending a couple guys over. Hope you'll talk to them. He said, sure. Nobody else was there. They interviewed him in a conference room at the White House Situation Room, and he lied to them.
Wow. So you set a perjury trap. You sabotaged General Flynn. How's it feel, dude? Cash Patel, James Comey threatened the life of the president of the United States. And as you all know, shortly after posting that threat, he deleted it. Then he issued an apology, knowing he had done something wrong. Too bad. Acting Attorney Blanche announces the DOJ indictment. James Comey for threats on the president's life. Threatening the life of the president will not be tolerated.
Last year, he knowingly and willfully making a threat to take the life of and to inflict bodily harm upon the President of the United States. Count 2, same day, May 15th, 2025, that the defendant, James Comey, knowingly and willfully transmitting in interstate commerce a communication that contained a threat to kill the President of the United States. Both of these counts carry a maximum term of imprisonment of 10 years. So I think it's fair to say that threatening the life of anybody is dangerous and potentially a crime. Threatening the life of the President of the United States will never be tolerated by the Department of Justice.
You'll love to see it. I mean, you legitimately just love to see it. It's your boy Benny. We're following this trial very closely. We might have to travel to North Carolina for this one. Don't worry, Comey. We can put you in a double wide. You can live there in the prison yard for your 20 years in jail. You'll have Taylor Swift concert in the prison just for you. See ya.